Director Saldivar here.
Director Murgo here.
Director O'Hare here. Director Totten here. There's a quorum. Thank you so much. At this time, we'll take the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to move on to the commitment to governing style. Do I have a reader?
I'll read Commitment to Governing Style. As a reminder to the public and directors, the board will govern lawfully, observing policy governance principles with an emphasis on outward vision rather than internal procedure, encouragement of diversity in viewpoints, strategic leadership more than administrative detail, clear distinction of board and chief executive roles, collective rather than individual decisions, future rather than past or present, and governing proactively rather than reactively.
Thank you, Mark. Would you like to read our mission and vision statement?
Mission statement. Bromley East Charter School empowers students to achieve academic excellence and leadership through critical thinking, reasoning, problem solving, and character development in a safe environment. Vision. The Bromley East Charter School strives to become a preeminent charter school in the state of Colorado, where all students realize their maximum intellectual, character, and leadership potential in a diverse and well-defined ethical environment.
Thank you, Mark. Moving on to our public comment period. Good evening. Note, if anyone wishes to address the board, they should be aware of the following considerations. The board uses the public comment period to learn the concerns of our stakeholders, parents, faculty, staff, administration, community members, and students. Public comment presenters are requested to sign the public comment request form at the entrance of the boardroom, the school auditorium, and we have that sign-up sheet right up here on this podium. We ask for an orderly process. Each commenter will be afforded 3 minutes to speak to the board. Due to the nature of this special session, and in an effort to hear from as many stakeholders as possible, the board president has authorized the public comment period to be increased to 30 minutes. We understand that this will still be a limited time frame, so please be respectful of others who wish to address the board, so as many concerns can be heard as possible. If a large number of people wish to address the board reserves the right to reduce the time permitted to speak in the interest of brevity. The Colorado Open Meetings Act requires posting a formal public notice 24 hours before any meeting in which the board takes place. The board is prohibited from taking action on any issues presented by a public commenter at the time it is presented, unless that item was already on the agenda. As a result of the above requirements and restrictions by law, directors will not engage with public comment speakers. However, directors may ask questions of the speakers for clarification. Please know that the board will consider your comment and concerns and take appropriate action at a subsequent meeting, usually the following monthly meeting. If your comment falls outside of the policy governance model, we will redirect to the appropriate party. At this time, if we have any public commenters, you're welcome to approach the podium. I do take notice that there are 2 commenters online as well. Jesse Smith, if you'd like to unmute yourself, you're welcome to make your public comment at this time. We'll set the timer for 3 minutes, and we will set our overall timer for 30 minutes at this time. Oh, you're welcome to come up and sign up. Okay. Jesse Smith, if you're available for public comment. Hi, Jesse. I'm going to unmute you or ask to unmute you so that you can make a public comment if you choose to do so. Okay, I'll come back. I note that Katie Martinez is also online. Katie Martinez, if you'd like to unmute yourself at this time and make a public comment, you're welcome to.
I don't wish to make a public comment.
Okay, Katie,
this-
your time starts now.
No, I'm sorry. I said I don't. I'm sorry. I was just listening. I didn't realize this was for public comment.
Okay, thank you, Katie.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll move to in person. Thank you. If you'll just sign the form and then state your name.
Sign that one.
Oh, sorry. If you've already signed it, that's fine. If you'll just state your name.
Yeah,
Thank
Elizabeth Vasquez.
you. Okay, your time starts now.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Vasquez, and I'm the mom of Austin in 3rd grade and Sophia in kindergarten. My family has been a part of the Bromley East Charter School community for going on 4 years. In that time, we've built strong relationships with many great people. We've gained friendships to last a lifetime and have come to know and love so many amazing teachers here. They truly are the heart of this school. Their dedication and care for our kids have been nothing short of amazing, and it's because of them that we've continued to invest in being part of this community. I would also like to acknowledge the efforts and dedication of the Brighton Police Department and express my gratitude for their dedication and assistance during the recent situation. However, the recent incident involving bullets being found on school premises deeply changed my perspective on how the administration handles safety. That day and the incidents that have come to light following that situation have made it clear that there are serious gaps, not just in communication, but in Bromley's leadership and overall preparation during dangerous or high-stress situations. Since then, I've had many tough but important conversations with both families and staff members, current and former, who have expressed similar concerns. Over the years, bullying has become a huge issue at this school. Many families have dealt with it repeatedly with little to no meaningful resolution. Bullying left unaddressed doesn't just harm students emotionally, it creates an unsafe environment that can lead to far more dangerous situations for both students and staff. Everyone deserves to go to school and work in an environment where they feel safe, supported, and heard. What's even more concerning is what I've heard from staff members who have left the school. Multiple individuals have shared with me that they were told by people in certain positions to not voice their concerns or speak publicly about serious internal issues that they were witnesses to. This kind of culture is dangerous. It silences the people closest to our children and allows serious problems to continue unresolved. It's also important to acknowledge that the executive director oversees the day-to-day operations of this school. Leadership at this level sets the tone for the entire school environment. When communication breaks down and transparency disappears, it impacts everything, from safety to morale to community trust. And unfortunately, that's exactly what we've been witnessing. In addition, I've noticed individuals affiliated with or who have connections to those affiliated with our school posting and or engaging with posts on social media in ways that are dismissive and unprofessional, even mocking parents who have come forward with concerns. Because of this, some individuals who are ignorant on the deeper issues within the school have gone as far as labeling us a small group of loudmouth parents who are never happy, using social media to push a narrative that paints concerned families as troublemakers. That is not leadership, that is deflection. And it's deeply concerning that people connected to the administration are engaging in behavior that undermines trust and creates division within our community. Can I continue? I have maybe like another minute.
Yeah, in the all fairness, we do have to stop at the 3-minute mark, but thank you so much for your comment. Okay, put 3 minutes on the clock. Okay, thank you.
I want to make it known that I did not come forward lightly. I was asked by multiple people and later thanked by even more, staff members included, for taking my experience from the day of the hold due to the bullets to news outlets. Not because anyone wants drama or attention, but because for years people have felt unheard. They've tried to raise concerns through the proper channels, yet nothing has changed. When internal voices are silenced, people turn outward, and that's exactly what's been happening. I've been told by numerous people, both those who I know personally and those who I've recently met, phrases like, "We used to love Bromley East," or "So many great teachers left a long time ago," or even, "That's why we switched schools." So tonight I'm asking this board and administration to honestly reflect on that. Why are so many families and staff members leaving or speaking out? What has changed over the past few years to create such a noticeable decline in trust, transparency, morale, and academic performance? Is there a common denominator in all of this? No organization or administration is perfect. Parenting starts at home. We know that. However, parents should not have to fear for their children's safety, and staff members shouldn't fear speaking the truth. We all want the same thing: a school that is safe, transparent, and accountable. A school that once again earns and maintains the confidence, respect, and trust of its community. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can. Yep. Thank you.
All right, give us just a second.
Yeah. I'm Elizabeth Strobel. Don't want to take away from my time, so. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, directors. First and foremost, I want to respect or ask for some respect as others have. So Jen Shaver, I would really like your attention instead of just looking down. I would like for you to look at me in the eye, which you want every other parent to do to you. Thank you. First, I want to sincerely thank our teachers and our staff for how they kept our children safe, and the Brighton Police Department. Amazing. My daughter came home and I asked her, "Did you feel comfortable? Did you feel safe?" And she said yes. That is due to the teachers and to the Brighton Police Department, not to the leadership. There are reasons why our children are safe because of those teachers. My concern tonight is not with them. It is with, once again, the leadership. Specifically, the lack of transparency, accountability, and integrity under the current role of Jen Shaver. And this board's responsibility to act within the leadership, which has failed. On September 26th, when bullets were found on a campus, teachers were not informed for nearly 6 hours. Parents received vague confusion communication. The same quote unquote hold terminology has been used the week before with a medical issue, which I am not discounting. However, leaving families unsure of the danger their children were in, I understand some details must remain. Thank you again for Brighton Police Department for letting us know. But the safety of our children requires clear and timely communication. Honest communication. This incident reflects a larger pattern, one that defined the executive director's tenure. Under her leadership, Bex has seen record high teacher turnover, declining academic performance, and a community that feels dismissed and divided. Jen's approach to leadership is driven by fear, control, and numbers, not people, not academics, and not community cohesiveness. Definitely not equitable. Jen often speaks about equity and transparency, yet her actions prove the opposite. Decisions made behind closed doors, selective communication, and parents given a voice only through surveys rather than collaboration. The board's bylaws are clear. The board collectively exerts authority over the executive director through oversight and accountability. Do you want me to stop so you can start the timer again? Thank you. This means the ED does not dictate the direction of this school. She answers to you, the board. And your bylaws charge you with ensuring the school fulfills its mission of academic excellence and a safe environment. And I can say for a fact, I don't feel safe coming into this school. And I have told an administrator that I don't feel safe in this school. And I got a response, your feelings are valid. And that was it. Many of the same board members have been seated since 2019, recycling positions instead of welcoming new community voices. Meanwhile, one former director, an education with over 25 years in the field and is still within the field, resigned last year. She also took both of her children out of the school and is now going to VCon. That should speak volumes. For me personally, the reason my children are still at Beck's is because of our teachers and our staff. Not administration, one bit. Our teachers are the heartbeat of this school. But when board members or administration go onto social media and tell parents this is a choice school, you can go somewhere else, that is 100% unacceptable. And that's a form of bullying. So it starts from the top, right there. So let's look at who we have in leadership. This mindset creates a culture of fearful, negative, and unwelcoming. The very culture of Jen Shaver has diminished our school. We no longer are the sought out school within 27J. Beck's, unfortunately, has been changed into the mindset of the bottom line rather than student academics, rather than community. That's not the mission that this school was founded on. The leadership needs to change. I urge the board now conduct an immediate performance review of Jen Shaver focused on crisis communication, staff retention, and school culture. Again, per your bylaws, the executive director should never make any family member or student feel unwelcome or fearful to come into the school. Let's look at the attendance following Friday, September 26th. And most importantly, let's restore, thank you, Tiffany, trust through transparency, not through ChatGPT. Our children are here because of the teachers and the staff, and I know most of the board. You have students here, and you, the board, I do have trust in. But there is one individual, the one that is the leader of this school, that has created a culture of fear and negativity and decline on so many levels, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Our community, our parents, and our children deserve better than someone like Jen Shaver. Thank you for your time.
Hello, board. My name is
Hello.
Nate Holmes.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you for scheduling this additional opportunity to address you. I know that the previous meeting was scheduled before the events happened, and and on behalf of the parents, I thank you for recognizing the need to let the parents not vent, but express their concerns. So thank you. I have two issues I'd like to talk to you about. The first is the policy that was stated during the town hall with regards to communication to the parents. It was stated that in any situation, if there is no new information to provide, then a follow-up will not be generated. That's really concerning to hear as a parent, because especially when we're dealing with safety issues, even if the message is, hey, no change, we're still working through this, as a parent, I want to hear that, especially once rumors started getting out about, kids text, kids find ways, they always find a way. There's some word is always going to get out somehow. And so word started getting out that there was something, not a medical issue, but something more concerning going on at the school. And the lack of communication was very concerning as a parent, because that's when rumors fly. So even if it's just a little, hey, no news or no change, that would be much appreciated. So I urge the board to reconsider that policy that was stated during the town hall. Secondly is academic transparency. During the last board meeting, the CMAS results were discussed. Actually, during a couple of meetings, they've been alluded to. And while it's great to focus on the positives, very few of the negatives were addressed. Looking at the schools across the school district, if you look at our grades and our subjects, the percentage of students who are meeting or exceeding standards declined in half of our grades and combinations, meaning like third grade math, third grade English language arts, and so throughout. Third and fifth grade, fifth grade and eighth grade being the science ones, so they're outliers. But still, only half of them we declined. In half of them we increased, which is great. We want to see that in the number of kids, or the percentage of kids that are meeting or exceeding the standards. However, of those 7, 4 of them are exactly in line with the increase seen in the school district and in the state, meaning we just did exactly what everyone else is doing. So we didn't do anything to close the gap between where we were already falling behind, or where we were already behind the school district average and the state average. In 3 of them, we did actually increase significantly above what the school district and the state numbers did, which is great. So definitely want to focus on it. We definitely want to, celebrate that. However, none of the decreases were discussed, we're really focused on, or to me as a problem solver, I want to know where the biggest problems are. I want to go solve those. I definitely want to celebrate the wins, but as a board and as an administration, I would like to hear more about what the plan is to address how we're having, in several grades and subjects, more and more students falling behind are not meeting the standards or exceeding the standards. And that's after the year before, when we had significant declines across the entire, almost every single grade had a decline in every subject in every grade. So to see further declines in 7 out of 14 of them is even more concerning. So with that, I'll yield back the 6 seconds that I have to the board. Thank you very much for your time. I only had 2 things. Unless the board wants to ask me any questions, I know you're allowed to ask follow-ups. Do you have any follow-up questions you want to ask me? I didn't think so. All right. Thank you for your time.
See if I need it. Yeah, go ahead. Thanks, Jennifer. Hello and good evening, Beck's board and Jen. We're going to jump right into it here. This is a very powerful statement expressing deep dissatisfaction and the response to specific safety concerns. I do appreciate the opportunity to address you this evening, and we're compelled to speak on recent safety events that happened in the school. First, I want to express our profound gratitude that no one was physically harmed during the incident on September 26th. We also commend the Brighton Police Department for their swift efforts and professional response. The executive director role here is a reflection of this board of directors stated in your bylaws. This conversation is going to stem from the constant downplay and the handling of these types of situations. We're going to jump to administrative and board failures. While we feel like the imminent danger has passed, we remain deeply troubled by the Beck's administration's persistent downplaying and mishandling of serious safety situations. We believe the actions and comments of the board and the executive director are reflective of this systemic issue. Specifically, the conduct and public comments made by your board president, Darnell. All of the comments were in response to an upset and concerned parents on Facebook are unacceptable and reveal a severe lack of judgment regarding safety and the well-being of our students. When an individual holds a position of authority such as yourself, regards to children's safety, restraint, and professionalism are paramount. Those are characteristics that you do not hold. For the record, we can share screenshots of the entire social media conversation if you'd like, but I'm going to point out 2 examples of comments made by the board president. Number 1, I hope that you are satisfied with the pitchforks and the torches you've brought forth on children. May you find your peace somewhere inside the burning flame of ashes that you leave behind. Number 2, this was suggesting that the incident, and I quote, was a total freak accident and wasn't meant to cause any harm. To label such an event as such a freak accident so soon after the Evergreen shooting demonstrates a dangerous failure to prioritize student safety and acknowledge the real world risks that we live in today. I almost changed that because I couldn't say it. These statements were made to a concerned father advocating for his son and his safety after a previous incident on September 16th that the administration at this school had already severely downplayed. The continued minimalization of the risk is extremely disheartening. In the aftermath of the September 26th event and the September 16th event, even the board president publicly questioned a concerned parent, which we do not believe should be allowed. This pattern of dismissal extends to the administration's handling of our son's injury on September 16th, which was reported as a stabbing by 27J. We were forced to practically beg your administration to send a letter to the community. We were met with extreme no's that they had to consult others before giving us an answer. All of the people in the school were already talking about the event. Even my 3rd grader knew about the event before our dismissal. When we raised the serious nature of the incident, to Executive Director Jen, when we walked into her office and asked her if she had a moment to speak, she chuckled and asked, "Is that what they're calling this now?" All you did was simply notify parents of 1 8th grade class of the incident via email. That was also severely downplayed. This is proof enough that you could have sent it to the entire 8th grade class or the entire school for that matter, but you chose to hide behind FERPA, which has no meaning here. You did send out, however, an email today on 10/13 talking about diversity and inclusion that stemmed from an incident with a MAGA hat. You're quick to point out without any identification needed, and that would have been enough for us. I do not believe that we should be relying on our children to figure out what's going on in our school. Isn't that your job? The fact that our son was stabbed, narrowly missing an artery, is not a laughing matter. This was not a minor cut, nor was it a freak accident, according to Darnell. There was enough force behind the weapon that it punctured and drew blood. The fact that we had to get a call from the school nurse and not an administration is another severe downplay in this school. There are serious safety failures that require a genuine shift in leadership and commitment from the board and its directors. We are calling on the board to immediately address the pattern of negligence and unprofessional conduct demonstrated by the board president and the associated executive director. Change is required, and we are not about to let this go. What is it going to take for the administration to take these situations seriously? The culture of the school has gone downhill, and it always starts at the top. We need an administration that can show empathy, compassion, and a sense of urgency. While we understand that it will not change directly overnight, it needs to be shown that it's moving in the right direction. And right now that direction is down, and it needs to be flipped. One of the ones we want the best interest for our children, these situations have caused an uproar in the upset parents, and we will not stop here. This is not the end. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Saldivar before my time starts. Yes, I'm a parent of an 8th grader and a 3rd grader at Bromley, and I've been part of this community since 2017. Over the years, I've actively supported our school through PTO, Parent Engagement Network, SAC, and volunteering in classrooms. Alongside other parents, I've helped organize events like Holiday Shop, Booster Bash, Staff Appreciation Week, and Fall Festival. I've seen Bromley go through many changes, but the past few years have been especially challenging. The school culture has shifted in a concerning way. Despite trying to stay positive and supportive, I've reached my breaking point. Something needs to change. As a parent, I'm frustrated by several key issues. Number one being discipline and transparency. We can't continue sacrificing the learning of 25 to 30 students to accommodate one child's disruptive behavior. We need better resources and strategies to support these students, especially when safety is at risk. For example, there was a recent incident involving an 8th grade student. Only the parents of students who were physically present in the room at the time were notified. However, my daughter shared lunch and recess with the student in question. And just 1 week after the incident, that student was moved into her class seated directly behind her. I should have been included in the communication, not to receive personal details, but simply to be made aware. That would have allowed me to have a meaningful conversation with my daughter, to check in on how she was feeling and help her process what was happening at the school. I believe that all students deserve to feel safe at school, and that transparency with parents is essential to building trust and strong culture. Number two is the treatment of parents and guardians. Recently, I reached out to my daughter's teacher to ask about a Halloween party and how parents could help. I was told the response from admin was, unfortunately, volunteers will not be allowed because it would cause too many parents to be in the building. As a parent, I found this response disheartening. And after reviewing the board policies, I question how this aligns with Executive Limitation 3B, Part 2 and 4. With respect to parents, guardians, executive directors shall not cause or allow conditions that are unclear, unfair, unsafe, untimely, undignified, or unnecessarily intrusive. Executive director shall not cause or allow any action or situation which allow parents or guardians to be treated in a manner which is disrespectful or causes them to feel unwelcome in their student's school. Does not encourage parents or guardians to be welcomed and involved as visitors or volunteers in the school. I'm a parent and I'm starting to feel unwelcome in my child's school. That's why I'm speaking up tonight. For a long time, I tried to stay positive and I went with the flow, but it's getting harder to ignore the issues. I'm asking the board to truly listen to parents, talk to staff, ask how they're feeling and what they need from leadership. There's always room for improvement for the board, for administration, and for us as parents. But I believe it starts at the top. And when a school is guided by strong, supportive leadership, everything else begins to fall into place. Thank you for your time.
Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to make a public comment? Okay, I will take note that there is somebody online by the name of Marisol Hernandez. I'm going to unmute her and ask her if she'd like to speak. Marisol, if you'd like to speak, we are reaching the end of our public comment period.
Not today.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Sure, okay. Okay. Jesse, I'm going to ask to unmute you now. You're free to take 3 minutes of our comment period. This is the end of our comment period at this time. Jesse, are you available to make a comment?
No, unfortunately not. My voice won't let me. Thank you.
Sorry to hear that. You're welcome to mute yourself now. Thank you. Okay, with no further commenters, we will move on to our next agenda item, which is the consent agenda.
Oh, one minute. So I just want to thank everybody for coming and sharing what you did with with us. This was meant for you guys and all parents. I know I'm watching here. We have 30 people online. I just want to personally say I appreciate hearing from each of you. I appreciate you giving each other additional time so that we could hear the entire statement that some of you had. And so I just want you to know that we appreciate hearing that. We wanted to hear from you guys, and I thank you for taking the time to come here and to let us know what you're feeling, how things are going. That's what we need to hear. So thank you.
Thank you, Therese.
I'd also like to, if the board is okay with it, and I apologize if you guys are sticking around, I'd like to motion for a 5-minute break. I just need a 5-minute break. Is there a second?
Yeah, we need a second. Okay, we'll take a verbal vote.
Aye.
Yes for Director Saldivar.
Yes for Director O'Hare.
Yes for Director Totten.
Okay, we will take a 5-minute break at 6:16 p.m. and return at 6:21.
did. Or you did me or Mark?
I think you did.
Okay. I have to do verbal the whole night because I didn't bring my computer. I didn't want to detach it from my setup.
Okay, we've returned back from break. Do I have a motion on the table to re-enter our meeting?
Hello? Director Maruga motions to re-enter the meeting. Do you need the time?
Yeah, 6:22.
At 6:22. Director Stickle will second. Director Stickle is a yes.
Director Saldivar, yes.
Maruga, yes.
O'Hare, yes.
Totten, yes.
Okay, moving on to our consent agenda. Do I have a motion on the table?
Director Maruga motions to approve the consent agenda. Director Stickle will second. Yeah.
Not coming up. Director Saldivar's a yes.
It is unanimous.
Okay, moving on to the governance processes supporting our global objectives. So at request, this policy review is on the agenda 3A, 3B, 3C. Mark, if you'd like to take it from here.
Thank you. So yeah, my intent with this was, I believe the monitoring report for this comes up sometime in the spring. And so I wanted us to take a look at this, as I believe most of this applies to kind of some of the things we've heard, not only tonight, but maybe in the past couple of weeks. And just for the public, those three policies are 3A, which is treatment of students and public, 3B, treatment of parents and guardians, and 3C, treatment of faculty, staff, and volunteers. So currently, the way that those are written, I believe somebody mentioned one of them tonight, but or a couple people did. I think for us to take a really hard look at those, so I would encourage all of us as board members to review those, and then we would place them on the agenda for our regularly scheduled meeting with some potential revisions or additions, I should say, rather than revisions, just based on mostly, I would say, school safety, which would probably be, well, would fall under all three of those, because currently there is nothing written in there. I don't want to bore you guys by reading through all those, but I would encourage, the stakeholders to take a look at those as well. And if you have any recommendations, please send us an email, and we can see, if they make sense and they fall into our lane, as far as from an overarching standpoint. But I just wanted to start the conversation on those because it has been a while since we've looked at those. And like I said, while the iron's hot, we might as well take a good hard look and see that it fits with what we're going through right now.
Thank you, Mark. And I would just take an administrative note here that last year we focused pretty heavily on creating a strategic plan and knew that going into this, a couple of items that we added was student and safety. And we knew that we were going to have to review our policies regarding this. And so I believe we have it on our work sessions. I know October, November, December were designed to go through our ED evaluation tool and board evaluation tool. And we have Dan from CDE coming in to help with that, and also Sarah coming in to help with that too. So we can certainly add that to our work sessions and then also our board sessions. Thank you. Is there any other comment regarding 3A, 3B, 3C? Okay. Moving on to our next agenda item for the day is our board training. So coming up in November, we have our platform is moving from board docs to Diligent. So CC's made me aware that everybody now has their user access. And Cece, I don't know if you wanted to follow up any information on Diligent or if you wanted to.
Really the only things is it's actually going to be a lot easier to use as far as the public goes. It's you still have the same links from our website that will get you to everything that you need. I think you'll notice that it's actually a lot more user friendly and it's a lot easier to find stuff. It's light years easier to organize documents for the board than board docs was. So hopefully that'll be also easier to find things like policies, bylaws, and executive limitations, as well as other documents that we post. I have sent some videos to the board for training. It's actually very user friendly and very intuitive. So I don't know if we need to schedule another meeting for everyone to kind of play around, do some mock meetings so we can kind of all see how it goes, or if everyone just wants to hit the ground running. We effectively lose access to board docs on November 1st. So our next board meeting will be in Diligent Community. So I'll let you guys decide what you think is going to be best for you.
And by
guys.
losing, you mean that we still have viewer access,
Yes,
right?
have
But we
viewer-
won't be able to.
edit anything.
I feel okay after the videos and playing around. So I think I personally will be ready November 1st.
I agree. I've been using it and
Okay.
I think I'm good.
All right, then we'll go with that. What's our November meeting? November 3rd? November 4th. 4th? We'll be in Diligent instead of board docs.
Not even close. November 6th. We are days away. Okay. In addition to our board training is the expectations around the sunshine laws and non-discrimination training. So the majority of the board took that training during our last board work session. So for those board members who've not taken the sunshine laws training and the non-discrimination training, you're welcome to go online and view the lovely CDE tool if you wish to do that, or you're welcome to just digest that law and the non-discrimination training and then just write a brief synopsis as to what you learned about the sunshine laws and non-discrimination training. That keeps us up to date with 27J and all and CDE requirements to be board members. Is there anything that I left off of board training that anybody wants to mention now at this time? Okay, moving on to our next agenda item. So this is a special session, so we have no monitoring reports today. I have no executive session unless somebody wants to make a vote to move into an executive session. Okay, no vote to move into an executive session. I don't have any action items on the table as we did the consent agenda earlier today. Moving on to new business, is there any topics for future discussion?
I'll just throw one out that I think thrown out at least 2 or 3 times now, but I want to seriously look at linkage. Like I said, I've mentioned it a couple times and it has not made its way to the top of the list, but I think now more than ever it is very important. And I will volunteer to head that up as well if I need to.
Okay, any other new business to add to the next agenda item, to add to the next meeting? Okay, moving on to the next agenda item is adjournment. Do I have a motion on the table?
Director Saldivar will make a motion to adjourn at 6:30 p.m.
Director Stickle will second.
It is unanimous.
Okay, Director O'Hare adjourns this meeting at 6:31 p.m. on 10/13/2025. Thank you all and have a good evening. For those of you who wish to meet with anybody from the board, we are going to stick around for a little bit. So feel free. I know sometimes Being up here may feel distant. You don't know who we are. You don't know that we have students in the school too, and that safety is also important to us. So if you'd like to meet with any of us outside the stage, please feel free to do so. We will be hanging around for a few minutes.